Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the Challenger Space Shuttle disaster that happened. Just a little bit background on what it was. The Challenger Space Shuttle was a space shuttle that was going to go into space, obviously, and there was a catastrophic failure in the O-ring, um, which was these O-rings right here, as you can see on this diagram. There's a couple O-rings that, because of how cold it was, there was record low temperatures in the area that they launched, and it caused the elasticity of the O-rings to be weakened, which meant that it wouldn't be able to seal correctly, and then so that led to an explosion 73 seconds into the launch. This was back on January 28th, 1986, and the saddest thing about it was it resulted in the death of everybody in the crew. Um, every single person in the crew, Eliason, Ozolka, and then that I definitely butchered that name, but I want to make sure I say their names. Judith Resnick, Ronald McNair, Gregory Jarvis, Christina McAlfee, and Francis Scobie. They all died, and that's really sad. And since then there's been a lot of talk on the ethics behind it all. What NASA could have done differently, what the project manager Roger Bolsjoli could have done differently, and really, when it comes down to it, it's difficult because none of us were really in that situation, and so it's hard to really really judge them for that. The biggest thing, this Roger was kind of an older guy, and so yeah, like it's definitely true that yeah, he should have done the necessary checks and everything to be able to make sure everything was functioning correctly. However, he was in a sticky situation where he was older, if he lost his job, he wasn't going to be able to find a new job very easily, and he had a family to support, and that's something that I think a lot of us can relate to. Is when you have a family to support, you have to do whatever you can to make sure you support them. And then I really think that the biggest issue and the biggest blame is on NASA themselves. Like NASA should have been a lot more careful and done a lot more checks, a lot more tests to make sure stuff like that, the things that happened didn't happen. As for my future in engineering, that aspect of this assignment, I don't really see myself having a future in engineering by any means. I'm getting a degree to be an English teacher, so not a whole lot of engineering involved in that. But I think the principles of engineering, as far as the principles that we could learn from this, is like double checking your work and making sure you're doing things ethically and not just because, especially when other people's lives are on the line. I think that is something that's a really big takeaway from this.